Plot A, row 26, grave 6. That's where my boys and I found my great-uncle, Lieutenant John V. Curry, in the Somme American Cemetery near Bony, France. He was killed 89 years ago on what was then simply known as May 28th, during the Battle of Cantigy, America's first division-sized offensive in World War I. It's not an exaggeration to say I owe my life to him, because before graduating from UB, John introduced his sister to his best friend. A few years later, my grandmother and grandfather married, the papers trumpeting the fact that they were introduced by the fallen hero who, as they put it, now lies asleep among the lilies of France. 30,921 Americans killed in World War I are buried overseas in 24 permanent American military burial grounds. The American Battle Monuments Commission administers and maintains them. Stars of David mark the Jewish graves. Latin crosses mark the rest. You'd think not many visit anymore. 1918 was a long time ago. I put it to Craig Rahanian, superintendent of the Somme Cemetery, and was told that we were the second visitors that day, and that many others had come that week. Craig's doing a good job. The cemetery is perfectly attended to, not a blade of grass out of place. As we prayed at the grave, the workers turned their lawnmowers off. My grandmother's scrapbook contains a newspaper clipping with the text of letters sent to her after her brother's death. From Charles A. Avery, 2nd Lieutenant Infantry, 89th Division. In the first day of the Battle of Cantigy, I was buried in the trench by a shell explosion for 3.5 hours. I was pinned under 4 feet of dirt, and as soon as the fighting slackened a bit, John came over to look for me. I shall never forget his calls of encouragement while they were digging me out, nor the tender way he lifted me onto the stretcher when I had been unearthed. I think we both cried a bit. Then I went to the hospital and heard they got John the next day. From Lieutenant Irving W. Wood of Oakland, California. In the attack, the spirit of the men had been wonderful beyond words. They went over into the fighting singing, laughing, joking, absolutely unafraid, uncaring. Men died smiling that day. John distinguished himself in the eyes of his men for his bravery, constantly exposing himself while under heavy fire. Finally, at evening, a German sniper's bullet struck its mark, and John was killed instantly. The Wilkes-Barre Record Almanac records that on July 17, 1918, many thousands of people attend outdoor services at Plains in memory of Lieutenant John Curry, who was killed in action in France. This May 28th, Memorial Day, we remember too. This is Jim Nolan.